And we're on the air. Yay! It's Thursday.
It's Thursday. We made it to another Thursday down. Woohoo! Let's see. Today is the 15th. Your birthday's next week.
That's correct.
Oh wow, it's exciting.
Well, it's another day for me.
It's not another day for me. I like to celebrate your birthday, just like you like to celebrate mine.
Oh yeah.
So I'm Susie. That's Matt. This is Suzilla. Welcome to Wenatchee Insurance Agency. Here in Wenatchee.
Here in Wenatchee. So, what is our topic today?
I have no idea.
You have no idea.
Do you have an idea?
I do have an idea.
All right, pitch it and we'll see if we run with it.
Okay, the concept is too much.
Too much.
And the reason why I'm going too much is because of, we're living in these times that everything's coming at us 100 miles an hour, and sometimes we feel overwhelmed because we're experiencing too much.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. And some of it's positive and some of it's negative, and sometimes it's just too much.
Oh yeah, it's absolutely you can absolutely love bomb someone to the point where they walk away thinking, that's not right.
Well, love bombing is a negative, it has negative connotations. But yeah, you can overwhelm somebody with affection. You've done that to me occasionally, and I have to figure out there's ulterior motives going on. Well, okay, people in yeah, you just love me. Is what it boils down to.
Yeah, and sometimes it takes that level to get through to your little stubbornness.
Something to be said for that. But yeah, I mean, especially right now, we're all experiencing in the United States a lot of information overload.
Well, yeah, and it's really interesting to see. I'm going to use the budget.
Okay, because that was big.
Because it's still big.
It's not done being big.
You tried to end it.
You're right. See, that's a good example. It remains big.
It remains big,
and it's not done yet.
And it's it's interesting because you go into the different social medias or you talk to different individuals and you start to get different reactions. Mm-hmm. And there are groups out there that will instantly discount anything going on because they are in that too much phase.
Yeah. Yeah, it just I don't want to hear about it.
I don't want to hear. Well, it's not that I don't want to hear about it. You've got that crowd. You've also got the crowd that just automatically say they're lying.
Oh, the automatic waltz.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That's actually probably more common. I don't know. I mean, it depends on the group you're hanging around with. But yeah, the automatic, everybody's a liar. I don't want to hear about it, and there's got to be there's always at least a third group.
That doesn't affect me.
That doesn't affect me. The leopard's eating my face, people.
Yeah, it won't affect me. That only affects these people I don't like.
Yeah, I didn't expect a leopard to eat my face.
Well, yeah, there was a...
Sorry, I finally kind of really dug into what that started with. It's like, oh, that's actually really amusing.
Yeah, there was one. It was yesterday that hit the Atlanta paper, and it was up front, and it was a woman lamenting about her son, who was a resident green card holder.
He was a resident. He was a legal resident.
A legal resident. Gone through all the hoops and whistles.
All the documentation, and I still nabbed him.
I still nabbed him. Yep, and he was still having to deal with that.
I saw a TikTok last night. I think it was Atlanta. I think it was Atlanta, where I went through the main restaurant alley in North Carolina, and basically
Tennessee. That was Tennessee.
Oh, Nashville. It's Nashville.
Yeah, Nashville.
They swept through the restaurant district and nabbed as many people that weren't white as they could get their hot little hands on.
Yeah, racial profiling.
Oh, very much racial profiling. Very much so. And now they've got to all go prove their citizenship.
Mm-hmm. So yeah,
sorry, that was so bad.
Well, it's by design. By design, the amount of activity and craziness is designed to shut down and discourage conversation and actual information gathering.
Okay, I'll buy that. And so some of that overwhelmingness is to trigger, I don't want to hear about it, and I can't handle this right now. So.
Yeah, it's by design. It's like, cool. You go do you, and when you're ready to deal with it, come back. Hopefully the mess isn't worse.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's not just worldwide nationwide. That happens on a personal level too. Your desk is crooked, just a little bit.
Is it?
It is. I was just looking like your desk is just a teeny weeny bit crooked.
Or is it by design?
See, knowing you is by design. But see, that was me diverting because it's like, you're attacking. That was me going, oh, here, because I've done that. I have run away because it's overwhelming.
Oh, yeah.
And I know that about me. And that was me doing the very same thing. Subconsciously, I was feeling attacked. All right, here's the deal. I do get overwhelmed by this swarm quickly. I have to take it in small pieces. And even then, it's sometimes a lot.
Oh, yeah.
It hits me on a very deep emotional level that is very difficult for me to handle. So I get mad, and sometimes I do things, and sometimes I just go crawl in a hole.
It's perfectly valid.
Thank you. I don't, but I feel like I should be doing more. But if I try to do more, it's a disaster that is Susie.
Well, we all experience it at different levels and different intensities. Sometimes what a person can manage, the best thing is just getting out of bed in the morning.
Yeah.
And that is a monumental task because that is where they're at. There's others that will walk through my front door, ask me genuinely how's going on, and I get into this Lewis 10-minute speech of this is how the world works.
I hear you do that on a regular basis.
And I was like, that's enough. And I was like, cool, you do it, go do you.
You spiraling off into whatever it is. If you've got somebody who you're having a fun information dump with, it can be really great for you. I listen to you do that with people all the time.
Yeah.
A lot of it's because they've asked a pointed question, not just how you doing, but what do you think about? Is usually what triggers those.
Yeah.
You know, and that's a good outlet for you.
Well, yeah, it's one of those ones. It's like I have to kind of gauge where the other person's at.
Oh yeah.
And shut it off before I completely blow them out of the water.
Oh yeah, because if we were to let you go, oh my god, I love you so much, but you can be so much. Because you have so much information in your head, and because you investigate, and you are opinionated and awesome, and you are more than happy to share that with people, and that can be really overwhelming sometimes.
No, yeah, it's because they don't expect that someone that's going to actually do research on stuff to form an opinion.
No.
Go figure.
I know. No, we're also used to little sound bites and memes that the actual details about it is a lot. We don't want. We're trained to take small pieces, to take it in small pieces. Mm-hmm. And I guess I'm trained to take it in small pieces.
Yeah,
I guess that's not. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. It just is.
It's how different minds work.
I guess that's true.
Sometimes there are folks that are in the thick of survival.
Yeah, they're just in total.
They got to figure out how they're going to get their next meal.
Yeah.
Survival.
Yeah. Survival mode, poverty mode, poverty brain, everybody call it. And you can't fault them for that.
No.
But you've got people like me who's not in survival mode, but still has some survival mode behaviors.
That's the poverty brain. That's the long-term thinking
long-term poverty brain.
Yeah. And the it's short-term fixes over a long time.
And you do have to, yeah, it's buying the cheap shoes. And I'm better about it, but I do regress occasionally.
No, we all do. It's one of those things. It's like, hey, Matt, what do you do to freaking decompress?
Yeah. What have you been doing lately?
I got my tiny fridge with tiny sodas. I have a non-alcoholic bar.
There you go.
I have a million things that I go away from, decompress for a moment. Mm-hmm. I can have my little Chinese gong fu tea ceremony for 5 minutes, have my tea, and then come back and be twice as fierce.
There you go.
I know this about me, and I do my best. There are times where I will actually pull back and say, hey, I can't deal with people right now. And I do that at a very diligent level. I let people no, I'm not. Matt's had enough. Matt, if he gets poked the wrong way, is going to poke back.
And so you have a shiny neon orange soda.
So I have a shiny, and I do my best to tell people, hey, do not cross this boundary. And some people, oh, he's got a smile on his face. Everything's all wonderful and not. No. I will hit you 10 different ways, and the one of them's going to hurt you the most.
Yeah, that's absolutely true.
Mm-hmm.
That's absolutely true.
But I do my best to set boundaries.
Yeah.
And that is very critical. It's like, okay, well, how's the boundaries? It's the someone coming at me saying, well, why aren't you taking the high road? I will take the road that you came in on gladly.
Yeah, you're going to match energy is what you do.
I'm going to match energy and intensify the situation. Because
why you want Matt on your side.
Because most people can't deal with a pressure cooker.
No. And that's why people like me who are not so good at the pressure cooking have a tendency to retreat. Yeah. I'll become if you catch me being quiet, you probably should leave me alone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because you're figuring things out. Cool.
Everybody's got their own processing.
Mm-hmm. But the important thing is to understand the people around you and how they process things.
Exactly.
And if you're in business, you got to pay attention to how your customers are processing things.
Absolutely. And you've really got to be conscious about, that's where your empathy comes in. You've got to watch their cues. You've got to watch their, listen to their voice, listen to what they're saying. And you've got to be able to, work with that, and be part of the team, be part of the process to get them to help get them where they want to be.
Mm-hmm. And it takes experience. It really, really does. We deal with people who insurance is a very nebulous concept.
It is
because it's not tangible.
No, it's hard to pin this one down, and it hits people emotionally more than they ever expect, because it's financial, and it is your health or your property. It's not. I'm going to put a physical umbrella over me so I don't get rained on. I'm going to have a metaphorical umbrella over me in case it rains.
I'm going to have the umbrella in the corner ready to go when it rains.
There you go.
And a lot of people don't understand the when it rains concept.
It's the when it rains. And then the question is, how big's your umbrella? Is it a tiny little parasol that'll be that will disintegrate in a monsoon, or is it something that's gonna keep you covered with some damage?
There's a lot of people running around with lace doilies because they're told that's the minimum they can get away with.
Yeah, they can get away with the minimum.
And then they wonder why they're wet.
Yeah, there you go. I wonder why they got one with a hailstone.
But that's important because
that's a good analogy. I like that.
It's one of those ones. Minimal sucks.
Yeah, but sometimes minimal's all you can have.
Yeah,
all you can swing.
All you can swing, and having something's better than nothing.
That's true. Even a lace doily can keep you from drowning.
Yeah, or it can give someone something to hang on to and pull your butt out.
Exactly. It's a metaphorical lifeline. It's like, oh, I got my little parasol, and I might be going down, but guess what? That little parasol's got something to grab on. It's got a stick that someone can grab onto.
Well, a good example of that is the compassionate care programs.
There you go.
And because you've got some minimal coverage, it's like, okay, I can take care of this. You've got some out-of-pocket maximums. It means you're not draining the complete compassionate care program.
And you're not draining your own budget.
Yeah.
You've got it, and that's I mean, you're not using. I have talked to so many people who feel that the compassionate care programs, the charity care programs, are insurance. It's like, this is not insurance. This is not free insurance. This is a federally mandated. This is a pool of money that some clinics and hospitals have for people who don't have anything.
In Washington State, there's actually laws saying, hey, hospitals, you will write off some of this money. Doesn't give them money. It says you will write off some of this money.
Okay.
The hospitals and the providers, they raise that money by charging more to other people, so they got a profit margin. B, they raise bonds by property taxes. So it's other money paying to fund this compassionate care program.
These are public hospitals. These are not private hospitals.
No, those are all the privates.
Right. Well, because the private hospital can't raise bonds.
But that is who's required to provide compassionate care.
Exactly.
They all, they have to stabilize you, but they don't have to necessarily give you free care.
Yep.
If you're making a bunch of money, they don't have to provide that compassionate care.
No, and that compassionate care programs are based on your income, and your assets. They run a means test. And it's mean. It's mean. They don't call means tests sweet tests.
Yeah.
They're means tests. So they run through, see what your income is. They want proof of information of what you got in your bank and how you can, and they'll figure out whether or not they're going to pay for a portion of it. It's not easy. But I've also talked to people who, for some reason, were under the impression that using the emergency room was always free.
Yeah.
It's like, no, it's the most expensive way to get health care. It's right up there, and that's where some of the misinformation lies.
It's not misinformation.
That's ignorance.
It's how they utilize and what they touch.
Okay.
Because they may go in there and it's like, oh my gosh, here's a crash cart taking care of me. Well, to restock that crash cart's thousands of dollars.
Oh yeah.
Because you're in an emergency room, you've got more people that are getting paid more dollars.
It's an emergency.
Because it's an emergency, people got to run to you.
Yeah.
So it's this high intensity care system that is overwhelmed. Quite frankly, the emergency rooms are usually overwhelmed.
Yep, and it's going to get worse if as people's insurance falls away, which we're expecting.
Mm-hmm.
People will use emergency rooms more and hope and pray that they get their bills written off.
Well, we're already seeing the alternative cares perk up.
Oh yeah, that's always that's definitely happening.
And we haven't seen that since it was like the 2012 2013 when the ACA was starting to come into effect.
Yeah, we were seeing a lot of alternative options out there. We're seeing the concierge medicine, the direct medical is the phrase that's coming.
You had the direct medical. You also had the different faith healings.
Yeah, exactly. You've got the faith based shares.
Well, no, I'm talking.
Oh, pray over you and hope it works.
Pray it away. There was some of that. There was the alternative healing. Here have some magical herbs.
Yeah, well, that's when one of the reasons why marijuana exploded. It's like, oh, it's a magic cure.
Yeah.
And then you also had things like essential oils explode. Yeah.
Because they couldn't tackle the issue head on. They were trying these side avenues to accomplish the goal of being whole.
Yeah.
And that is just, it's perfectly valid. However, it's like, yeah, this isn't. And then you hear, the reasoning to make those side steps. Well, it's more natural this way. Well, this is how they did it in the ancient world. And it's like, oh, it's a brand new discovery.
Yeah. So this is to draw the parallel with our theme is people taking something that's overwhelming and taking it in manageable pieces, or trying to take it in manageable pieces that they understand.
Yeah.
Or getting, I can't handle this. This is too much. I'm going to try something completely different.
They walk away from the situation.
Walk away from the situation and discover that they need to do something, and so they pivot entirely.
So yeah, there's
sometimes to ill effect.
Yeah, it can be an ill effect. I've met people because of the stress of the health system.
Mm-hmm.
They had to delay stuff.
Yeah. Yeah,
and,
absolutely.
And it's not just our isolated valley that we live in.
Oh no, that's nationwide.
It's nationwide. We have a large number of called the boomers that have worked their lifetime, and bless them for taking their hand off the wheel and retiring. Mm-hmm. At the same time, I wish that they would have trained more people to replace them.
Yeah, that would have been that. Yeah, that hasn't happened.
And that's that whole planning situation, because what it was is peeling away resources. Mm-hmm. And making situations be overwhelmed.
Yeah, that's true. People behind you who got left behind, the retired boomers, are overwhelmed because that boomer was doing entirely too much and didn't turn anyone to replace them.
Well, yeah, if you're doing something 20, 30 years, you should look like a wizard.
Yeah, exactly. Now, then, one thing I have noticed, having worked in corporate America, mm-hmm. is that the corporations are not interested in training somebody to replace you.
No, they're not.
They're really not. And you can't blame the boomers for that. You can't blame the retirees for that. You have to blame those who are refusing to give up power over their heads.
Yeah, and at the same time, that also includes the public hospitals.
Yeah.
That includes the legislators that are supposed to be guiding communities.
Exactly.
So it's not just corporations being corporate.
No, not just corporate greed. It's a lot of different factors. You're right. You're absolutely right.
And it's like, oh yeah, I'd be foolish not to take this $400 million plane. Just because it's there doesn't mean you should take it.
Well, that's the whole one shoe thing.
One shoe thing?
There's a one shoe thing. If you put like at a yard sale and you've got a free table and there's just one shoe sitting there, someone will take it whether they need it or not because it's free.
No.
Yeah. Yeah. You hadn't heard that?
I have not tried that one.
Yeah, it's for real. If it's free, someone will take it even if they don't need it just because it's free. And that's kind of what's going on with the $400 million jet.
Oh no, there's more Admiral Akbar. It's a trap.
Oh yeah, that's totally that's just bribery is what that is. But no, some people will take something they absolutely have no use for, like one single shoe, because it's free.
Well, I've been with groups that it was like, hey, if it's offered, take it.
Yeah, and that's fine.
And I've run event booths where everyone was like, hey, give my freebie, throw it in the bag.
Yeah, and there are those. Well, and how many times have we had people just, when we got freebies, come through and just swoop and take everything they can get their hands on because it's free, whether they need it or not. But even if it is something absolutely a single used shoe will go if it's free.
That's some hoarding behavior there.
Yeah, it is, and that's poverty brain. And maybe they do find a use for it. Maybe it's a new planter or something. But yeah, there's been experiments on that.
Yeah, I haven't heard that one. It's like that's one you got to play with.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's weird. People are weird. People are strange. Mm-hmm. That's just the way it is. And I should find another third song quote, but I don't have one in my head right now.
So right now, the big budget is working its way through Congress.
Yeah.
And
it's ugly.
It should be ugly.
Yeah.
It absolutely freaking should be, because it is looting the countryside to pay the country club.
Yep, that's exactly right. They're paying for the yachts. Your dollars.
And we saw Ben from Ben and Jerry.
Yeah.
Get pulled out yesterday
because he was telling the truth in Congress.
Yeah, he put his butt in the sling over that one, and it was like right on.
And then there was the whole wheelchair.
The wheelchair brigade came through the other day,
and to say, hey, stop! Do not take our health insurance away from us. Don't kill us.
Don't kill us, because what's going to happen? For every 800 people that lose their insurance coverage, one will die.
Yep, and we're looking at how many millions of people?
It's millions. Yeah. It's crazy numbers.
So we're looking at thousands of people dying unnecessarily.
A couple of the representatives yesterday realized that, hey, we're going to kick off, I think it's like 13.9 million people off of health insurance, off of Medicaid, and at the same time, because the tax credits we're not going to do the enhanced tax credits for the exchanges, so they're going to have to pay even more money.
And that was acknowledged by the speaker. So yeah, that's right. That's what the numbers say.
So yeah, so it's not just, oh my gosh, we're going to kick people off Medicaid. We're going to kick people off Medicaid, and we're going to charge more money.
Yeah. It's not going to be pretty.
And that's one of those. I was like, yeah, you should really talk to your people. We've got 2 representatives of our state, Newhouse and Baumgardner, that will probably, you could kick off 20 million people and they wouldn't care.
No.
They're
just toeing the Republican line.
Well, it's a shame, because you're dealing with the number 1 and number 2 districts in the state for the amount of people on Medicaid.
Yep.
So you got the representatives of the most people that utilize these programs that are going to be suddenly without.
They are working against the interest of their constituency, and that's the truth.
And that's why they overwhelm you.
Yeah, and it's overwhelming. Are we out of time?
We are out of time for Suzella. So if you felt too much, take it in small bites.
Yep.
If you feel like you're being overwhelmed, yeah, retreat. If you feel like you're overwhelming someone, let them leave.
There you go. That's good advice for anybody at any time. All right. Thanks for joining us. We'll talk to you next week.
Yep. Have a great day.
Bye.
Bye.